Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Let's talk about it. How's it going, everybody? I am Jason Howard, and today I wanted to share some of my first impressions of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now, before we get started, let me just say that some of the stuff in this video I talk about is just my opinion, and it's okay if you don't agree with me. Marvel vs. Capcom is arguably one of the greatest crossover fighting game series ever. It came out of this era where arcades were still a thing and people would line up with a pocket full of quarters just to get some playtime in this awesome game. This series has come a long way since its original inception back in the 90s, and now we have a playable demo on the newest installment, Infinite. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite goes back to that 2-on-2 player style action like the original. The freeform fighting lets you tag in and tag out and do aerial combos at ease. You have your 4 buttons for light punches and light kicks, and you have 2 buttons to control your infinity powers. Now, the infinity stones in this game are very important for obvious reasons. In the original Marvel Superheroes video game, Thanos was the main antagonist, and as you climbed the ladder, you would collect infinity gems to give you special powers and abilities in each match. And the same goes for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and I like that a lot. Good job, Capcom. But the story plot revolves heavily around the Infinity Stones. You have Ultron and you have Sigma, and basically these guys use 2 of the Infinity Stones to come together and form Ultron Sigma, which is this giant robot of a thing with big ass feet and a cape.
We are born of 2 universes, each of them imperfect, each afflicted with the cancer of organic life.
But there's a lot of debate going around whether or not if the demo did more harm than good. Is the game gonna suck? Is the story? All these questions, man. And we just have to wait and see until the game comes out. But in the meantime, let's talk about this damn demo. So I'm glad that there is a story element to this Marvel vs. Capcom game. As I mentioned, the Infinity Stones play a huge role in the plot, and it also plays a role in the fighting mechanics of the game. It's 2-on-2 like the old school, but with the Infinity Stones you collect during fighting, it enhances your power for different combos and abilities. So there is some balance there using the Infinity Stones. Going into the demo, you sort of jump right into the action with all the characters. It's obviously good versus evil, trying to stop Ultron Sigma. But I gotta say, the cutscenes for this demo is like, oh man, like, okay, first you get Captain America and the good guys. You know, you see Doctor Strange, you see Chun-Li, Captain Marvel. Everybody is brought in, and there's so many small cutscenes in between each fight. It's like, okay, like, can we like pause and like break for like maybe 5 minutes versus like this 1.5 minute cutscene fight, win 2 rounds, back out, cutscene, hey, new character, fight. You know, what's up with that? Now, Capcom have been developing these Marvel vs. games since way back when, right? And I think they stay pretty true to the original artist's vision of each character. But some of these characters look so disproportionate. It's odd. I look at Chun-Li and she's like posing, she's doing her karate shit or whatever it is, and her hands are like super big, like, but that's during the cutscene. During the fighting, she looks proportionate and like a human being, even though she walks funny as hell. Same goes with Thor. Like, Thor is just like, and his cape is just like, it's like a damn shower curtain, you know what I mean? But when you see him in action fighting, he's proportionate again. Now, maybe Capcom will hopefully correct this thing as the development continues, but gosh, man, that is just so off-putting. And yeah, I know it's a fiction, fantasy work, but at the same time, there's still some level of realism that should be respected when it comes to these characters. And I'm not really complaining about it, but that's just one of the things that just stuck out to me like early on. Like, I do think this game is pretty polished. Like, the artists are just fantastic. I like that the characters have some depth to them. Some depth, like some characters are more on the surface than others, and what you come to expect if you follow these characters, whether it be Marvel or Street Fighter or whatever, Capcom, you kind of feel that from most of these characters, what you would see like in a Captain America movie or a Iron Man movie or a Street Fighter game. I certainly don't think this demo was bad or did more harm than good, as some may suggest. But I do hope that they fix those little things. The game is bright, it's energetic, the fighting seems like it'll be as great as ever. The balance with Infinity Stones and 2-on-2 seems great. I hope folks aren't too upset with the accessibility of the auto combo just by pressing one button. I mean, anybody can press a button on an arcade machine or a joystick, but it takes skill to defend and play that game. And we will see the difference between the folks who are veteran players and folks who are just jumping on the bandwagon. That's all I got for this video. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you think about this game, because I'm certainly looking forward to it. I'm Jason Howard, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Alright? Peace!